Well, let's see if I can't do a Reader's Digest version of this. Number one, I think, would be why are you coming here? What is your why? Far too many people come here for the wrong reasons. And they're usually the negative ones. They're escaping something, a relationship, a marriage, whatever it is. Could be more of a snap decision. Those generally don't work out too well. If you've never lived overseas, I would not fully commit to any country, including Panama. You make the decision, great, put all your stuff in storage, bring a minimal amount of things to Panama, plan on living here for a year, regardless of your age, and first 6 months live in Panama City, travel around the country during those 6 months, find places that, spend a week in Bocas, spend a week in El Valle, spend a week in Coronado, spend a week in Pedasí. If you're really adventurous, you can go even further out and maybe spend a week in David. What's it like living in a more rural big town rather than Panama City? The next thing that I would do is develop a list of the things you like and you don't like. And some of those things could be, I'll give you an example. As I'm taping this, the garage door is going up and down, and our trucks, there's a dog barking. These things may annoy you, and it reminds me of something that my dad used to say, and that is, you can sit on a mountain, but you cannot sit on a tack. It's the little things that bother you. These are little things that bother me, and so much so that we're going to put in double pane windows to reduce the noise. Probably one of the best things I can recommend in that regard is for you to think about all the places that you've lived in your life and make a list of all the little things that bothered you in each place. Because those are the things that you're going to be sensitized to already and you're going to want to avoid. Do that and plaster it on your forehead when you come down here. Then, as you travel around, you can compare and contrast that list with the negatives you see in each place compared to the positives. That'll save you a lot of time and money and heartache, in my opinion. Another thing that you should do your first 6 months you're here, almost right away, I would get your medical care. Get a family medicine physician. If you don't speak Spanish, find one that's fluent in English. Mine is. I don't think you need an attorney right away. I think that comes later. But the same holds true for an attorney. You want precision in both those because they can impact your life dramatically. One of the most helpful words of wisdom that I received very early on, actually, from a Panamanian business mentor of mine. He told me, Hunter, understand one thing. Panamanians aren't real customer service focused. And this is probably 15 years ago, 16 years ago. So understand it's improved since then, but the lesson is still important. In the United States, when you go to the hospital and ask for a record, it could be an MRI or whatever it is. The person behind the counter will ask you for your ID, and you may have to pay for it, but it's a transaction. There's no extra thinking that goes into it. However, in Panama, what the person behind the counter might be thinking is, have I done something wrong? Am I in trouble? And so there's resistance. So the best thing he ever told me was, if you want to get stuff done, I clean that up. Always preface your request with, can you help me? And that changes everything. It's done two things. First of all, Panamanians are incredibly helpful people. They'll come running if you need help. They're wonderful in that regard. So that's number one. They want to. Oh, I can be helpful. Great. But it also gives them a sense of being in charge, of being in control, of being valued, I think is maybe the best word. And who doesn't like that? Got that. But here it's more important. So can you help me get my medical record? Can you help me find the best set of tires for my car? And that changes the dynamics. It changes the relationship, which is terrific. Terrific lesson. Another lesson learned is real estate. People come down here, they get off the plane, and within weeks they're buying an apartment, they're buying a piece of property because it's a good deal, or they're comparing it to what they know at home. Don't do that. It usually does not end well. And you might be stuck with a piece of property that won't sell otherwise because you're the only person in the world who saw value in that property. Give yourself time to overcome what I call the Panama primary color effect. You get off the plane and you see 16 primary colors. It takes a while before you start seeing 32, 64, and ultimately 32,000 colors. But you're also seeing shades of gray. You're also getting context, depth of field in photography. And it takes time to get that perspective. So every decision that you make early on, major decision, I would question. So that first 6 months, travel around, get your list, find a physician. The second 6 months, I would devote to going to either two or three of the top spots that you've chosen, that you've said, yeah, I could see living here. I like the weather, I like the climate more than I like the beach or the mountain. I like the vibe, whatever it is. Plan on spending 2 or 3 months in each spot and live like a local. Go shopping. Go to the local restaurants. Go to is there nightlife? How important are those things? How important is culture to you? You may not have a local movie theater. So I would really dial in on what living is for you in that spot. And you're only going to do that. You're only going to get that perspective by being there for a while. 3 months will definitely give you enough time in that spot to make a better decision. And that's towards the end of that time. You might want to get a referral for an attorney, whether it's local or one here back in Panama City. And because they're the ones you want to review rental contracts, long-term rental contracts. You may find actually a piece of property out there that you want to keep your eye on. Then it's time to have an attorney aware of your needs. So those are the things that come to mind pretty quickly. Lessons that I've learned while living here. There's a lot more, and I'm sure others will share more of their insights here on Going Panama. Whatever your decision, Panama is a great place to visit anyway. There's so much here. There's so much more than the canal. And I would encourage you to get out and explore the country. There are many places to go and live. And I haven't even gotten into San Blas, and not that you can necessarily live there, but and you'll note I've mentioned places west of Panama City. There's a whole world east of Panama City. Most Panamanians go west. Little factoid. Lago Baiano is a place that I would go and explore. As an expat, you may find that it's undiscovered country for a lot of people. It's a good tool, but expat thinking is different from tourist thinking. whatever your choice, I wish you success and think positive. Come down here with a positive attitude, with patience and empathy. And I think you'll enjoy your time. But set good expectations for yourself, and there you are.